Trading and investing of any kind carries risk. Everything discussed here is for entertainment purposes only and not to be taken as financial advice because I do not give advice. Hello, hello, hello. Like and subscribe and notification bell and share it and all that. So liking only takes just a second. Don't be stingy with the likes. It means a lot to me, even though it means nothing to you. Thank you. So let's take a quick look at where we are here. So the other day we were again, we were talking about, polishing off this shark, getting a pullback here. So we really were kind of looking for this nice potential 5-0 here, which we did not get. So let's look at why we didn't. Had this nice pull, and look at this. Got this beautiful trend line from the highs, man. These trend lines don't lie, do they? They just don't lie. This great trend line here. So, got a nice little pull through yesterday. And then today, we touched that trend line, pulled through, came back to it. And then, just had this market say, nah, I don't think so. I don't like being below that trend line. So what did we do today? We just proceeded to short squeeze all day long. Every time people would short, we would trickle up. We would find the shorts we'd find the stops of those shorts and just give us a little push. And same thing over and over and over again all day long. We just pushed. Right. So at the end of the day, we also, if you look at it, you had decent tech earnings. Earlier today, tech was really holding everything up. Kind of yesterday, I think it was too. But yeah. So interestingly enough, we are sitting right around this area here, right? Trying to give us this idea of a possible head and shoulders. But this thing doesn't really measure out for a head and shoulders. At least I don't think it does. Not really. It's I don't know. I think this side over here is a bit too much of a putt, but we'll see. We'll have to see what tomorrow gives us, right? So we'll see if tomorrow. It's a great place for it if it works out, though. Holy Toledo, does it ever look beautiful. So what I like to see with a head and shoulders is something similar you'd like to see with a crown pattern. I want to see us try to break over here. I want to see this potential break over here, right? So that means we've got that low, got that rejection, kind of like you'd get on like a 1-6-1-8 type of move or like a false breakout type of move, get that pushback in the other direction, eat all the stop losses. And then basically we either will turn around and, start making our way back down, start trying to come back down and break this neckline, and then try to make our way back down, somewhere down here, try to polish off this 5-0 we were talking about, or we don't, or all these earnings just keep coming in positive and, we just have these earnings kind of push us, which is not impossible, actually. It's definitely something that can happen. Do I think the market's going to keep moving up forever? No. If anybody does, I think that's a bit ludicrous. But, the market will do what it will. So, yeah, let's see what else we have here. Let's see. Yeah, earnings is definitely kind of driving this. So, we had a lot of dark pool prints come in on SPY, which really gave us a lot of that splash, that push down, right? And on the way down, there was a lot of iceberg buying. There was a lot of passive buying on the way down. Even just kind of looking back today, same thing is kind of what kept driving us up. So, and on the ES. So yeah. It looks very nice if it'll play out that way, but we'll have to see what tomorrow gives us after the open, maybe through the night tonight. And let's see if we dig into So what we had set up, let's see if we can see it on the 1 hour. I think the 1 hour shows it fairly well. So the play for this really was, it's just one of my favorite patterns in the existence of existing. It's a nice little iceberg, nice shark pattern. So it's beautiful. I mean, when do you enter? Well, on one like this, I would say your entry, if you notice, as I do with my trend lines, which I love, right? This is what you have, right? Get this move through, get this retest, and you never came back and retested. You never pulled below it, just kept on going. And I think before the open or right around the open, yeah, this is before the open. We had this, this wick down here, this pullback, which almost got us back down here, but it didn't. But yeah, so I mean, taking that entry, kind of setting some stops down here around the low, below the low, preferably. Let's do the measurement on that. See what we got. What is the measurement? Oh yeah, that's a 1618. That's pretty. 1618. So yeah, you definitely want to put it down there at the low, because if you start breaking that 1618 down here, probably not going to get the thrust up there that you want if you start breaking it and holding below it. So yeah, I mean, that was the play. This was over the last, 3 days we built this, right? We had this pull down, got a little bit of recovery overnight. Yeah, pulled back, gave us the 1618, gave us a push. I mean, that's such a beautiful play. That one play today could have set you off for the week, right? So these are the ones, if you can see these plays, these 2 or 3 day plays, like these are nice. Get to the end and get that squeeze back up, man. That's what sharks are good for. That's why I love them. Let's see. What else do we have? So let's see what we've got here. I think we measured that out. We're already above it though. So a lot of times, so there's a potential shark setting up here to the downside, which would be considered, I guess, a bullish shark. But so I like to see a head and shoulders and shark patterns. That's just me. I like the volatility in a head and shoulders, especially when they measure out properly. So if this can stay here and go up no more, maybe it'll work out that way. Otherwise, I wouldn't even really consider it a head and shoulders. Usually, once we go too far beyond the 618 retrace of this side, I don't consider it a head and shoulders, even if it works out. There's some other reason usually that, it tends to work out that I'll find. So with that being said, I mean, we can go long term, but we've already done that, right? We've got this shark working out. There are some much larger patterns that we could kind of talk about here, but those larger patterns take us really far up on both SPY and the ES. So ultimately, what we're really looking for here is, are we going to start breaking these areas, right? Are we going to start pushing up, breaking through, and start trying to push these areas up here? One of the parts that really make me think no, other than potentially, maybe this shark pattern could work out. Harmonic patterns, they work out in harmony, both, from the standpoint of Fibonacci, but also from the standpoint of time. So, and what I mean by that is, I'm not going to get into details. This is why when we have people in a room, but, if you want to understand the timing of these patterns, come pay us a visit, because you want to kind of see the right side of a pattern work out roughly the same amount of time as the left. There are exceptions, like crab patterns are an exception. Shark patterns sometimes are an exception. Any of the ones that kind of retrace and get into an extension. So there's a lot of intricacies to this, right? There's a lot to it for sure. But, this shark, if it were to push, if it were to get a nice push and we were to continue to push up through earnings, maybe so, but that would still take us up pretty far. Let's see what we got here. 450. Yeah, that's definitely up there, though. Let's see what we have on the ES. Just gonna be little glances here. So yeah, 4,500 similar. Could fail at the 78.6, I guess, and get a 43.86, but that's a long way. That's a long way up. You know, but here we are. You know, we're breaking today. You know, we broke this downtrend, which honestly, I didn't foresee that happening so quickly other than that shark being there. But just based upon the way we pulled down, you know, hitting that trend line was definitely huge. I mean, and this wick kind of told us everything we needed to know, right? But this is why, like, you can have a bias. Like, my bias was I kind of wanted it to keep coming down. I wanted it just to play out this 5-0. But when this shark started to show up, you know, you got to play what you see. You know, this is a much larger pattern trying to play out. Well, this one was just kind of staring you in the face. So you just have to think of it that way. I mean, you might have a bias, but you've got these day trade plays that you can just nail and knock out of the park, and this was one of them. You know, interestingly enough, there was on the NQ, clearly me and the NQ had a lot of fun today. But this thing, you know, we set up a crab pattern from right here. Not sure if you play the NQ or not, but I set up this beautiful crab pattern, and it just right at earnings. I mean, just within a few handles, just boom, nailed it. You know, and I had a lot of fun with that. So yeah, I mean, let's jump back over to the SPY and ES because that's kind of where we really are here. But you know, these trend lines, they don't play, they don't lie. You know, that's why we draw them. That's why we keep up with them. You know, like I said, longer term, we have some patterns that could take us up. So we'll see. Maybe we try to get up and complete that shark. Maybe earnings just keeps us running for the next, you know, couple of months, 3 months. You know, we'll just have to see what we get. But outside of that, you know, we could talk about some things we talked about in the room, which were great. If we want to talk through a few of those things, I mean, we had our boy Sean, man, that homeboy's on fire. He had, I mean, I think every single options play that he's mentioned has just pretty much been mostly a slam dunk. I think he called out a YOLO short on ENPH. And, I mean, go check out ENPH and see how that one went. Insane. So, yeah, this is where we are. So if you want to know more, investingoge.com. If you don't want to come and join this room and pay money to join a room, that's okay too. I'm going to keep making these videos and I'm going to keep putting them out. You know, there's a lot of details and intricacies of things that I'm not going to talk about in these videos, but you know, the overall market, I'm going to continue to do this because I really like doing it. And I think educating the world is fun. So this is how we're going to do it. And hopefully I can get Balbs on here, you know, to start doing some stuff with me too. So yeah, good to see everybody. I'm glad to be back. Hopefully we'll get 2 or 3 more videos next week and keep this train rolling. Set up a TikTok. I'm going to start doing some videos out there, investing OGE for that. And I'll kind of update it, you know, maybe an opening screen that has all these things listed because I've got a few more. So I've got an Instagram set up for investing OGE. I'll start kind of putting some stuff out there, just some, you know, quick things like this maybe to show, you know, what the basic plays were, because you can make money trading these basic patterns. Absolutely. It's how I started making money when I first started, you know, doing well at trading. And I think I've mentioned this in previous videos. I would just play these W breaks, set my stops, scale out, learn to scale properly. And then outside of that, I would trade head and shoulders patterns. That's why I'm so familiar with them. That's why I love them. Because certain ones tend to play out certain ways and some of them don't. And when you start to learn that a head and shoulders pattern is a harmonic pattern, it makes life a lot easier. What else do we have? What else do we have? So we've got Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter if you'd like. You can follow me, Killface, on Twitter. Evelyn Killface, I think. You know, it's in the opening screen. Outside of that, feel free to say hello, throw a comment, you know, questions, whatever you want. And, you know, if I can get to them, I absolutely will. I like to answer the questions. So, yeah, I'll make another video probably Monday or Tuesday next week, and we'll keep this thing rolling. Until then, sorry for blabbing at the end there. I will see everybody next week. Peace.